Hello Blonde folks, welcome and welcome back. The sound. Sometimes the microphone gets crazy. I think this is right. Hello Blonde folks. Yes, so sorry about the delay, let's go. So here I am, Pxy-VERSE, welcome and welcome back folks. So here we are continuing this process of pre-production CG, right? 3D pre-production. Let me put some soundtrack here on the background. Hope that is not too loud. And so, basically, I have a to-do list of re-rigging stuff for this character, OC character Dorothy template, because I'm gonna reuse the rigged model for other other characters, right? It's a bit too loud for me. Hold on. Sorry. So here, that looks good. So today I'm gonna skip to very small things, and I'm starting very late. But that's if there is time, I may do more, try to attempt more stuff. So here finally the small experiment that I wanted to see, finally will be able to check this anatomic shape key for the eyelash. And so if that works, that's great. If that fails, I'm just gonna give up on that. It will be a shame, because it was a plausible new application for this thing. And so let's go back here. Maybe I don't need the environment light here, it will delay my stuff. So let's change the date here. Also I forgot, need to have a list of those things, otherwise that is very list of OBS presets. Yeah. So okay. So this here are two little small things to get used to. So let's get saved here. So basically, as you can see here, if I check the armature for the control eyes, I've re-rigged some of it. It's not fully complete, so there are two things on the list there that I need to do. Is I want to see, this is the rest position for both mesh and bones, and I want to just make that rest position slightly different than this reset, so that perhaps I can get something more natural, a better looking neutral expression. And that requires a lot of tweaking. That's why the great idea here would be to have pose assets on top, in addition to this rest pose, right? So the rest pose is not the same as the rest. So I want some rest pose like that. Then when I reset everything, it goes to this instead of to this, right? So and this is the rest position. So why is that crazy thing? Basically just explaining here for newcomers maybe, or just to remember older people that have been here before, is that, wait, where's the mesh? Here is that by having this and the idea of the anatomic shape key, I will be able to have these very regular eyelashes meshes deform in a very interesting way, regular way, let's say, as these bones move, right? Because there's wave painting on that. And so because it's more regular, even though we don't see this as it deforms, but because it's more regular, then if I wanted to shape all these shapes already from the rest position, it's a very tiny detail. But what I really want to do there, so that the anatomic shape key is a constant shape key, that one, that will stay there forever. In principle, it's just for giving, like for the lips here. Lips, I've given this example. I've already tried and it works. It seems to be very effective. It the shape key bypasses the deform, so that means that the original mesh on rest position, the geometry can be very simplified, right? And this will help the deforms not to create very complicated and disruptive artifacts, right? Because that's how the skinny algorithms work. They are very crazy in making very rational in providing horrid artifacts, which is very bad for organic rigging in general. So alright, so let's attempt this anatomic shape key at once. I won't bother right now to make this rest position, also this new rest pose, sorry, right now, because actually it is to find the ideal rest pose that I want. I should it relies on these eyelashes. So I've created these bases. Let's remake it and let's finally check if that is valuable enough. To be fair, this is just a slight experiment. I think this is overdoing stuff, right? For the mouth rig, because of the mouth rig I want to do, that should be like very important, but for the eyelashes I think it's just overdoing, so I just need to check it out. So let's see if that has any, if I find anything interesting on that. So let's see. Okay, so this is shape key 1. Let's augment. I'm gonna save here, and so here is very simple. Maybe I should be doing this with the subdivision and all those shrink wrap, right? So let's do something like that. No, maybe not the armature, but the shrink wrap and the, well, actually yes, because there are some shrink wrap bond constraints that depends on the armature being on. So, and where is the subdivision? Also the subdivision, even so that way in this particular case this will help me visualize this, what's happening here. Yes, and I want optimal display, so I don't want to get confused. So I'm not using proportional editing, no snapping here, nothing, is just, so I cannot, I probably, yes I can, yes, because there's this subdivision, I can shape this stuff here. So as you can see there is some, yeah, so at this point I need the grease pencil. Let's make something here, folks. To simplify this task, I need the vertex groups and I need to get the let's go to up here, exclamation hide. So this is for hiding, it's just managerial vertex groups, no wave, yeah, they're just for selections. So I need the face here, eyes. I will simplify this, right? Hide eyes region. So yeah, this doesn't change anything, I hope. Yeah, it's dangerous changing the vertex groups if they are related to any object modifier, right? It loses the target, so I should be very careful here. Head, what is this? 0B skull. Yeah, I can use like 1A, 1B, yeah, maybe that, so that will be 1B, 1A, and 1C. Maybe to distinguish this, let's make this on uppercase. Fan pelvis. This is for rigging pelvis I've not been using. Oh, there's even a zero body. I don't remember what's that, but that's correct. All right, and this is probably should, and that is, yeah. So these are to be deleted, I guess. I've used for pelvis rigging on some late iteration, doesn't matter. So here, let's get, so eyes region, there we go. I'll shift H that. Let's also use the screencast, also something that I need to not forget. Get everything ready when I start this streaming. Okay, let's get back to the, okay, so now I can shape the, oh no, it's not over, folks. A lot of things to care about when making character design or creating characters into this. So this, yes, just this grease pencil. So gotta get used to all those stuff if we want to make 3D characters and projects like that, right? So, all right. So I see the. Okay, I start to see some problems, but okay. So the idea is very simple here. First, I'm just gonna. I know the shape of the 3D eyelashes already, so this is why I'm not really very. I'm wary of what I need here, because I've already rigged this character's face, this character's eyes and eyelashes and whatever, and I know what works more or less. So it's just that I need to make sure that I am able to make some good looking eyelashes here. Of course, I'll have some doubts here because I'm not, the 2D character design will be sort of different than the 3D one in terms of the eyelashes. Yes, it will require some specific adaptation, and so this, maybe I make some change here, I'm not sure. And at this point, this the hair is not helping, right, folks? All right, this is better. Also, let's get from the eyebrows. Let's hide them. That'll be better. So you see this one. Let's push this. Let's make them. Okay, so I have a reference here for the tip there of the grease pencil. You see, there's something about the character design that I totally forgot. So this is like 3D adaptation problematic. Strangely, I wasn't paying attention to that detail. So here is that it's continuously here. So in the 3D, I'm not making it continuous, like the top one will stop, and this is it's not absolutely required, but there could be connected here, it could work. The problem is when they collapse when I want to close the eyes. I never tried that. That could be complicated. Because they are not gonna be, yeah, the mesh could be how to say, yeah, there will be intersection. So I'm having some hard time controlling this mesh right now because, as you know, probably of these modifiers, all this stuff enable for on cage and edit. So maybe this is causing, and there's a little thing here that I always can't understand very well. I think it's because of the shrink wrap. It's because the but now it's being fixed. Okay, so what I mean is that with the shrink wrap modifier for the eyelids, the eyelids vertex group, they pop up on top of the eye, because on edit mode without all those things, now this is the mirror, so without all those things, the mesh of the eyelids is snapped like that, exactly on top of the eye surface, the eyeball, the eye, whatever, the object of the eye, right? So, which is behind. So this mesh will pop up like that, and so that if because the eyelashes, they don't have the shrink wrapping. Oh, there's a technique. I remember I've used it. Let's check that. I think I can. I used that in one of those rigs, but it was not on this setup. It was on, I think it was the simplest setup. So here is how it should look. Well, the up is the bottom eyelash is not rigged, just the top one. So here basically I need to investigate. So the by the way, there's a bone here that's no, this is an eyelash bone, doesn't matter. So this doesn't have a vertex group, nor a bone. Is that true? Where's the... Yeah, there are some layers here, but there's nothing. Yeah, so there's no bone for that mesh behind, which I call the eyelids border. So it's a technique that I found, a method to make this wall here, because solidify modifier won't solve this problem. It will generate another artifact. So here, let's see what I was looking for. Yes, for the eyelashes, right? So basically, okay, this is wave painting, but that's not what I want. What I want is to check, because I've stacked. I do remember what is it. I stacked left and right. This is the eyelashes. So mod shrink wrap eyelids. Maybe it's not on this setup. Yeah. And this is for eyelids border. So, but let's just verify if that's true. So basically, it's this one. Let's get a selection. So this vertex group, actually, let's see the wave painting. So you see how it works. So this was made differently. It says eyelids, but this is fake. It's eyelids plus eyelashes. So I didn't rename this. This is and what it does here is that the eyelashes will also, at least is what they would, maintain a distance, a certain distance, according to this wave painting. So this is not very intuitive to because there's this motion up and down. So, but it's still, yeah, we can still pose the eyelash like that, or even. But you got the idea. So we don't have to have shrink wrap all the way. So as the eyelids mesh will pop on front, because the shrink wrap modifier has got some distance there, the eyelashes will partially, and in this case is a much simpler rig because I prefer this thing, but I'm experimenting the other one, because this because in the other one I use the anatomic shape key experiment. And here it's just these vertices, a simple edge loop that is responsible for this waving motion of the so this is very curious. That works very fine. And so far, right? And let's see what I did here. Copy, transform, copy. Okay, so just for the z-axis. And here, yeah, just this. So this is a simplified version than what I've ended up doing. And so here, so I got this idea. So basically, let's go back. This means that I can maybe include these ones into the shrink wrapping. Yes, actually let's include everything except that we'll make a different layering. Or maybe I start with this and then I expand inwards, right? With like that, right? So that means that I will, yeah, let's change the names. Let's leave it open for now. Let's go on the vertex group. So small change here, folks. So this will be interesting. There's a strategy that I found that will simplify the, like, stack some things that we can. So this will be eyelids, eyelashes, left. Yeah, this will break everything, eyelashes, but then I just have to go back here and now let's copy this to this and it's back to normal. All right, then although not sure what happened to the other side on edit. Oh, because of the mirror modifier? No. Never mind, I don't know, but it doesn't matter. I guess if there's something hugely wrong, I'll end up finding out, but I think oh, that is because of that. Okay, just not using this modifier. So let's so now this is adapted. I need to wave paint this stuff for precisely, so Control Shift X, I think, wave paint sample group, and then I can see which are the vertex groups that matter. And here actually is the mod well, no, it's not here. What happened? Let's try again. Control mod corrective. It's eyelids, eyelashes, right? Oh, of course, there's no waves here. I need to pick a vertex from the eyelids. I need to wave paint that. So shrink wrap eyelids, eyelashes. There we go. So here now I've enabled, so you see the eyelashes don't have any wave paint except the beginning there, but the beginning is already a part of the eyelids, so it doesn't count as eyelashes, just the face count faces, right? And those following verts. So let's use the P for my shortcut for vertex selection. Here I can give this amount of yeah, so hold on, let's go back. P, let's give this a Control X of some fixed value, maybe. So the shrink wrap here, it's outside outside surface, really? How is it possible? On surface, outside. It should be outside. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, so we have a problem here. The eyelids must be outside surface. The eyelash, no. So maybe this will cause some limitations if these weights are too much. So let's start with some proposition here, like yeah, let's, this is very risky, but let's give some this value here. Then as I expand, yeah, let's get, yeah, actually let's do the inverse. So here we can try, I don't know, this, and then I reduce, and here we go to something very, and see the eyelashes, the idea is that if I get all this to 0, yeah, there's no big deal here, but most importantly, we notice that the base there, the lower, the part that is closer to the root, no, controls, if I, without the waves, so it sort of gets slightly pushed forward. That will help this mesh to get slightly apart from the eye, so it won't get, it will prevent it from having some, the problem is that the eyelash doesn't have a, oh, actually, what I'm saying, I need to take off the shape key for now, and on this circumstance, so this is the regular, right? So this is what is being affected by the I think I need to push it a little more. So let's try, so Control Shift X actually. This is, no, Control X, no, on this one, no, what's the shortcut for the sample weight? Shift X, okay, so maybe more than that. Let's try this, now Control X, let's try more. So in principle this should push this mesh forward, but I don't, it's not like it's doing exactly that. It's doing the inverse. I don't get it. It's like now it's shrinking it for some, maybe the bones positioning, I'm not sure, but it doesn't make sense to me. Alright, so as you can see, this this setup is not that good, also because the mesh has the, would have this shape key, so I'll think I'll give up this merging of the yeah, of the vertex groups, because it's stack stuff when we lose control. So this is not, yeah, let's leave them just as so. Let's just care about these the vertex groups then. So I have already it here. So what I need to do is to get the selection. So that, yeah, so that was a lot interesting, but not. I want to simplify whatever I can here while maintaining a powerful expressive rig for the 3D character adaptation, right? So here we need this, yeah, let's hide the hair. Let's get the eyes there. Oh, eyes region, right? Oh, it's not changed, so that's bad. So eyes region, 1B head, skull, yeah, 1A, shame I have to do that again, head, and that's it. Then this body goes down and we got some strangely I can't. Why this thing is disappearing? Okay, I don't know, but oh, there we go. So got the eye region, but the selection, I just want this and this for now. This is for edition. Oh yes, yes, yes. So the idea here, yeah, the character design, yeah, again. So let's go back, grease pencil. It won't help super much because of the, yeah, then there would be this idea of the modifier, and you know already what is all this stuff, and that's the subdivision, and then optimal display, and that should do for now. So of course I could try to move the rest position, because now I'm seeing the rest pose because of this armature on cage and edit. But let's shape the, let's make the vertex group, right? This one. And here on Blender 4.1 we can lock vertex group, so no more accidents. We can sort of prevent some horrible accidents to occur. That should be very valuable. It always happened to me, even when I tried every time to avoid that, it still happened. So no proportional editing here, just some. Let's try to make this curved, right? I don't use shape keys a lot, but these are not corrective shape keys. These are just what I call anatomic shape key. So let's see if that will be interesting enough. So as soon as I shape this on a good pose here, we'll see if there's any quality to this approach. The idea is not to be, is that the eyelashes will be still be controlled by the automation of the eyelashes bones. Yeah, it's a bit difficult to control this, and I don't, the controls are a bit crazy sometimes, like here. It goes the other direction. This is for no reason. This could be conflicting transforms, so so one here, exactly, this is one reason maybe not to use this approach, at least here. it just makes things more complicated, but we'll see. Hold on, we need to, so let's move this up, push this. I'm doing wrong here. Sorry folks. Yeah, so this part seems a little more complicated because I'm not sure what I will be able to do here with this mesh. Usually there's a different subdivision that needs to be done there that will break the shape key to some extent. Hopefully this is not a shape, thankfully this is not a shape key that requires change of value. It will always be 1, right? So you see what this is doing already? So here I have a chance to get it slightly more adequate. I don't understand the mesh that is. Oh, that I can probably hide that for now. There's a let's push this out, try to make some interesting motion there, interesting curve, right? Even though we can't see very well the, yeah, I should try to avoid here the grease pencil thing because it doesn't match right now, but I need at least to try to look here and really what it can be. So there's this part here which is very different because this is going very high there for the 3D adaptation. Maybe this is not a great idea, but that's a consequence of how I've rigged it. So maybe there should be more spacing here, but I'm not sure. It's strange to not have, it's also bizarre to not have eyelashes in some around the eyes. So I thought that would be too poor, yeah, to not have this. Okay, so here we need to make this stuff a bit more organized, and that's why on the original setup I didn't have this, and actually I don't need this except some subdivisions there, so I could make it much simpler. I'm not even sure, I've just made that subdivision so that I could play more with the shape keys, that's it. But maybe this was a mistake. I'm not gonna undo it right now, though I could just by dissolving, right? But let's see if okay, so now let's disable the grease pencil and let's see with the armature if there is anything that let's see how this, if I see any advantage on this thing. Well, the problem seems to be the same. That means it works like it is working just like the original one. There's no, it's technically, I think it's a bit more complicated to handle because Gotta make shape key is an extra thing to do. I don't see any real advantage so this is not, although we can use this. So if I turn this off, and it's not like easy to get the shapes that I want, but hold on, let's go back to the mesh here, vertex groups. So this will be without the shape key. It's not interesting. With the shape key, it starts to get a little better, but yeah. So basically, I'm not satisfied with all the extra work it gets to do. So I'm gonna just dissolve that and see if this helps. So this is this is closer than my original setup, except that let's try to get the rest pose that I want now. So for that I need the mechanism eyes. So basically it's just the tweak. I want these bones to be replay. Yeah, I want this. I want just, yeah, it doesn't need to be perfect right now, but let's try to get this pose as good as possible. Something like this, I guess. This can be lower here, maybe. This one, yeah, this one could be like here, I guess. The eyelashes in front, so it's not really helping. And then this interpenetration depends a lot on the it will depend a lot on the shape of the that I will give to the and the all the that affect the eyelash. So okay, let's say that this is the case. So I'm gonna get this and I'm going to apply selected as rest position. So that, alright, so it creates this rest pose. The eyelashes, if I hide them with masks, which already exist, so if we just check here, yes, that's plausible, but yeah, I should have done this before, so let's try this instead. And see how smooth this stuff gets. So it's the eyelids at least are working fine. So the eyelashes are just a secondary step. They are built on top, and then the minute details there we don't really care. So that's let's try. Yeah, let's try that. So again, just for, yeah, no, I need all because they must engage together in this apply selected rest pose. Okay, then I can probably symmetrize them. Alright, and now I can bring back the modifier, so take off, and now I can sort of readdress these rest pose, and so now the rest pose should match. So now I don't need those things. Well, not the armature. Now I'll need the armature. Ah, crap. So that means I still require this in order to maybe it will be better without the. So now at least I just have one vertex, one edge ring to care about. So let's smooth this out and see if we can. Yeah, let's push all that. Same here. Yeah, that's why this is much simpler, right? So just should as go do the good old way. Not so old because I've discovered how to make this rig just about 1 year and a half ago, maybe something like that. Okay, and here because this needs to go back, so it need to twist a little, that is where it might require some distinction from the. So how to do that? This already has got some 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure if this, yeah, this also might be more complicated too. So I think what I can do is just, yeah, make something like that. So this goes like that, and this one can, unfortunately, yeah, so this is an outside one. Yeah, so that is the idea. Of course, this I've changed the. Oh, actually, there are two. What I am doing? So this is the mesh without any thing. This is the mesh with deforms, and oh yes, this makes it very hard. So yeah, this this system that I've made here with the shape keys is really, and this response, it really makes things more complicated because I need all this stuff to just be able to check the, maybe not the subdivision, but yeah, so then I need to enable this to see the final result with the shape key, right? So yeah, that's, if I can work here, this looks good, but without the shape keys, like a mess, right? Oh, actually this should be, let's also hide this, and what is showing behind is the, oh, the eyelids, right? So yeah, so much simpler with less vertices, so that's why for modeling I prefer low poly. Just making sure I'm not changing anything on the face, right? Let's see from the side view. Yeah, some crazy shapes could be fine. Can get a bit creative. Something that won't have on the 2D character design, maybe can have here. Take creative advantage of features, of the peculiarities of each language, artistic language, right? So here, as we can see, yeah, we can get this like here. So I'm doing this way just to check this. The only annoying thing, yeah, more yeah, if I look here without the shape key, it's just it just makes no sense. It's very terrible. I'm afraid that this could drag other problems in the right. Because it's very crazy, right? It looks like completely messed up. And how a thing as messed up as this can be actually good. So this is I don't even really understand what's going on there to reach that result. It shouldn't be that disrupted. So yeah, maybe I can smooth this out, push this mesh closer to the eye. Yeah, here's some. Well, I could try to disable all the transforms of the bone constraints, right? That are affecting the eyelashes. Maybe I could turn that off for a moment to see what is the natural way of them moving. So maybe that's what's happening. They are being transformed. The mesh is being deformed. The eyelash mesh is being deformed in ways that are not necessarily required for as I get these shape keys. Okay, and then of course you can get some smoothing here and smoothing here. These shapes are not very convincing, but they are not horrible. So for the character design they might be okay. I had better before, but now let's see how this gets to adapt to all the circumstances. So now this is the okay. So first let's do what I was mentioning about the deform eyes. Let's get these eyelashes. Oh, there's too many bone constraints there. Also something that I'm not super fan of now that I think too many. Yeah, so the other technique, just have one transformation bone constraint, the other approach, and so it's one click to it's a bit more analytic to create because it's a transformation bone constraint that is more developed, but then this is all 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there it is. 5, 6. Yeah, so okay, so this would be the shapes without the eyelids shapes without the actually without the transforms, and you see the shape keys on their own, they won't really, unless they would be dynamic, which is not how I've made them. Without the shape keys, even worse, right? So they are not meant to solve the transforms. The problem is that I build them in the reference of these, precisely these transforms, and so this is not good. I start to think, because if we want to adjust anything about this shape key, we need to do this not on the mesh. It depends too much on the state we've made it according to these bone constraints. So each adjustment there will is the reference for the shape key somewhat. While if it was just a geometry thing from the rest position of the eyelids, right? Whatever happens there. Okay, but we see that by using the reference, the results are quite good. So it still works nearly. It can work, but it doesn't look that. It doesn't feel for me that it's better. Anyhow, and fixing, making adjustments if required. Can be way more disgusting, because you have to reassess plenty of things simultaneously, right? So in the end, I cannot, not only I cannot see any great advantage, because you can do these things with only armature deform and mesh geometry. So fix the geometry already from the start and solve this by just the bone constraints and maybe some corrective shape keys if everything else fails, but not even corrective shape keys is required. So okay, so for the experiments, that is a good thing, because I've just find out that no, this is not a good so not overly complicated, not worth it. And an explanation for that, well, after so this is, that means that I'll need here to reshape. Okay, I already did that, so that's, at least that's fine. And here what I need to do is to restore the, maybe I'm not with the transformation bone constraint, but restore eyelashes geometry. It's like rest position anatomical old times. Alright, so that will fix my list. So at least I've checked the... Oh, by the way, let me see something. How did I solve that last time? This thing that deforms behind. I don't need all these bones to be looking at them. So what I'm talking about is there is a, let's turn off the mirror modifier. I don't need all those things also. Turn off mirror modifier, then yeah, I can already delete the shape key, and let's turn this off. So goodbye anatomic shape key for eyelashes, and this I'm not gonna use also for now. Maybe yes, later for the mouth, yes, because for the mouth it's a different situation, it's more complex. Alright, so this means that the only reason why I'll keep this rest position for the mesh here and for the bones that are there is for regularity of these deforms, but nothing really relative to use of shape keys or bypassing. It's not, yeah, so it's not, this can be still advantageous, but for a different reason, but just for the deforms, right? So the only problem here is that I'm not sure what should be the shape of the, it will be hard to shape these eyelids from eyelashes from this, because it's not a good reference for character design, simply like that, right? So in order to do that, let's go back on the armature. Yeah, let's get the subdivision, so at least that can help. And but this is a mess, so also let's hide all this eyes region, so let's just keep that. And yeah, so how this mesh is transforming, I don't remember how it was set to. Let's hide this secondary eye to see from the mirror. I want to maybe split area here. I want to see how this is behavior, because there was a bone that was making it work, but okay, I solve it with wave painting basically. So the same wave paint that is affecting the eyelids, I guess it's getting to deform this. So instead of adding a new bone to do these deforms, just the same eyelids bendy bones are carrying them. So this is yeah, that's pretty regular, no problem with that. So this actually is a simplification, so I like it. Alright, so no need more of that. So I would have to get, yeah, so how to shape this? It's impossible to shape this. From that reference. Yeah, I know what I need to do here. Is this the, yeah, this is, no, this is already the, I see. It seems that it's not working, but this is because there is no subdivision surface modifier for the features. So as soon as I enable them, then this should start looking better. Acceptable. Yeah, no, there's something is not correct. It's like, oh yeah, forgot the shrink wrap, but even that is not working. Mirror modifier. No, it's not about mirror. So I don't know, it's just not working. For the top eyelash there's some, it's like, oh, the mesh get inside. That might have been the case, yeah. So I'm not sure how the, yeah, so this is the case of the culprit here is this rest position, not this one of course, but when we see this aspect of it, of course maybe I need to okay, last chance here. Let's try to, if this doesn't work, then I will have to really discard this rest position, which is good because it's horrible. It just creates problems, and so bad idea, terrible idea for this particular case, but good. So sometimes it's nice to investigate different possibilities. So I had the intuition that this could work, and it sort of worked when I showed that the shape keys, it was working, right? But it's just too, I've mentioned the drawbacks. Maybe I was dramatizing a little bit about that. The fact that it worked, but this was just not super adequate to my personal way of doing things. But I need to test, because if the results were really good, that might have worked it, but in the end, not only the results weren't that impressive, but it was also super more complicated. So here, oh, there seems to be something wrong here. I push the why this is outside. I moved this accidentally. That's what's happening here, folks. There is one extra verse that was okay. I think I can, despite the chaos, I can fix that manually, otherwise it's a lot of Control Z. Let's man it. This was snapped, so accidentally I've posed these vertices instead of these ones. Yeah, that's, and without the snapping, that horrible thing happened. So there must be extremely careful, right, with what is this? This seems to be a face that has no meaning there. Maybe some accidental extrusion. Oh, now I'm snapping. Shouldn't be snapping. This is an eyebrow, I think. Yeah. So this happens. This. Oh no, I'm still. Oh, I was using proportional posing. That's super dangerous. Yeah, but it's easy to fix. If anything there unsnapped, I can fix it in easily. So it's not a big deal. So let's just check here now. Finally, yes, this needs to go up. Let's finally see how this will behave in the so see how hard it is to shape these eyelids, try to shape these eyelids correctly from this stupid, and the results, not surprisingly, also are not very good, right? So I don't understand why. Oh, okay, so there we go. Are the eyelashes working here with the automation? Yes, they are re-enabled. So what we can see here already is that these eyelash, so the rest position essentially is working. Like it can work, but what for, right? Just add. This is to get someone to get angry, right? Because so why all that? It doesn't help the eye. Well, it sort of helped the eyelids to reach some very, but that I could reach before, so I'm not sure. It's not even good perhaps for eyes being closed, because if they close they would be like in a different pose, so it's not, but because they got very close, maybe it's good for but I was already able to replicate closed eyes before, and you see for the eyelashes it's very hard to get it work straight, because the eyelash gets very difficult on the, so in the end, what to do, folks? So the regularity wasn't so much for the that I expected to have. It was not so focused on the geometry of the eyelids, which usually worked anyhow because it's shrink wrapping already to the eye surface, and the topology is like circular. It's very conforming to everything. Usually it's just the wave paint needs to be a bit worked out properly. So the real problem is with the eyelashes as we close and open. So that was the so if we have the, so my plan here, and I've tried many things. I start with eyes closed, so ignore the eyelash here. Let's get this to be ignored for a while so that I can explain the problem. So I could never solve this in a, it's a character design thing, because the pose of the eyelash when the eyes are closed for this character should they deform, they should have some special positioning, which is not really easy to shape with just those automations. We can, but it's very hard. So it's something that transcends the simple mechanisms of going up and down, right? The up and down thing can be very valuable. It's actually pretty cool, pretty powerful and simple, but it doesn't offer the character design, all the character design requirements. So that would be something that would need to be shaped. So the one resort would be to have correctly shaped keys, mainly when the eyes open, maybe this eyebrow, these bones. Yeah, so what could control drive that? So this is another question. So maybe it's by instance that will create a lot of conditions. Something that when the eyes are low, then the eyelash, top eyelash will morph in a certain way, and as it go up it will morph to conform to something. Maybe this is more about just this tip here than the rest, all the rest. So the rest may be simpler. So don't worry, the thing here it is going wrong is really because of this insane rest position. So basically that was a failed attempt. So I have here the following choices. Let's go on the masking thing. Unfortunately nothing that so I've already tried this eyes rig, the old school form, with eyes wide open. It's very good for this, but then it's very bad for the eyes closed, because that's a rule of thumb. This is in rigging, right, for the skinning algorithms. The rest position, if it's like that, the rest position, binding pose state, this is the perfect thing. And then whatever goes too far from this, like on a wide open eye, then this will become very highly deformed regarding the especially the eyelash, and more there will be these interpenetrations there, intersect, that we don't see, but that can be unnatural, right? I prefer open eyes. So if I fix the open eyes, I have already the ideal character design for that. And as the eyes close, that means I will just have to fix the eyelash for the closed eyes with just maybe one corrective shape keys for, I don't know what is worse there. It's risky because I already tried, not corrective shape keys, but these open, right? So I know what happens. Closed is like, it's the same thing in principle, but bad for when the eyes open. So I would have to have a correctly shaped keys, especially for the top eyelashes, or maybe another input, but couldn't think about that yet. Maybe some, yeah, it could be an additional transformation bone constraint, right? So the good thing, the advantage of having, I also have tried the eyes like middle term, right? Not something like in between, right? If you, so not totally open, not totally closed, like the problem it creates is the same that I have now. I will have require warp bones for the rest pose, so more bones, mechanism bones, bone constraints, so a lot of problems just to make this stuff. And curiously, that rest position didn't bring any great pose spectacular for the open eye, and it didn't also contribute much more to the closed eye. So it's like an in-between that was not doing a lot of, didn't give a lot of adventures besides creating, always when I enter the file the character would have some ugly face, right? So she looked at me angry, right? So just like that. So in a different way, but still, so it's not practical, right? So in the sort of way, I'm glad to have found these things, because this redirects me to simplification. And indeed, I'm gonna create a new one, and we're gonna simplification of eyelashes rig. That would be, yeah, eyelids, eyelashes simplification, so ASAT. And so this is my next plan, and that means that through this new file I can toss away, discard, right, plenty of things here that are pretty annoying. That means that indeed I intend to get rid of let's get rid right now of many things. So I don't have drivers here, so it's okay. Let's get to the, it's sad to say goodbye to a lot of stuff that I've took so long to, not so long, but that took some days, right, to find out. So I need the, okay, tweak eyes, but rigging, experimental rigging is like that, right? So I'm used to that. No, not lips. What am I doing? Mechanism eyes, there. So I need to discard, delete this stuff. I also need to, as I go to the deform eyes, these bones, they have copy transforms, but I'm gonna do this differently. Oh, they lose their target. Okay, so I have an idea. So I'm gonna change the, no, it can't be done like that. How that should be. Copy transforms to copy the rotations. And of course this is not fine. So it cannot have copy transforms in my system here that I want to just move them towards this, just as the mechanism bones. So and after them I parent these to this, but they need to be on the same. So I'll just have the change the rest position for the whole mesh through the apply. Oh no, that won't change the. That will just change the position of the bones. Okay, so I have a technique for that. There is a way to apply respose just to some part of the body. But for that, before I do that, I will require to bring this to there, right? So there's not. Oh, that works. All right. All right, so that will be like that. Okay, wait to go. This is going to be very simple then. So here, of course, so now what happened there? Alright, it's just got hidden. So now I go here and let's do the parenting. So this is usually parent to the head, deform head, right? But now it goes directly to this. Maybe it will not be perfect because of the rotations, but we'll check. In principle, I think that will work. And this one to this. So okay, that should be fine. Now I can make this. Let's see if they are moving all together. Yes, they seem fine. Yeah, so everything there seems to be working. So what I need to do is just oh, I've lost the again. Let's do it again. So I need to quick apply the respose no matter what, so that these things get so that these bones get already properly not aligned, but they stay at the same place, so that whichever extra transforms that I do here, and of course, forgot, yeah, so this happens because I need to change the mesh also. So I'm gonna go here for this selection. Okay, I got this selection. So now that we're gonna see how that works. So basically, if I get I hope I remember how that works. It's a bit tricky, especially tricky. Shift D. I need, oh no, I need to make a vertex group, right? Okay, so we'll transform this into a group. All right, then because it's a mirrored mesh, I think with the mirror modifier, I think just that is good. So I need group, and how was that? Okay, so this is the original armature and this is the new one, which is affecting only the transforms of this group. And then I think I need to, yeah, let's okay, it's turned on, but then I need, this one is actually, I need two of these because, and I apply one of them, the first one, so this, and now I get here. Yeah, I need to apply the respose for only these bones. Apply selected respose, and of course now it's still broken because I just need to delete this one, and so here well never mind, this got completely messed up. I think it got some bad interaction with the yeah, there are a lot of bad interaction. So no, this is there are many other implications on the armature, like the shrink wrap stuff. So basically what I should do is perhaps just have to do that manually. So rest position, which is not too hard, but yeah, I can't manipulate this thing. There's too much things going on here, so maybe yeah, it's, I saw that not only the eyelashes were compromised on that, but actually everything was a bit crazy, right? So it didn't seem to, I think I needed to include the shrink wrap feature in the process. If it wasn't, those things just get me confused, so I prefer to do manually because yes, let's try to fix that. Let's get this region again. So there is an advantage here, that is the fact that, well, here we need the snapping here, so all these okay, so actually there's something here that shouldn't be snapping, this one, so let's hide them too. Okay, so that's first to start with, and so basically we're gonna get this very close, right, to the This is a little better to see. The good thing is that when the, well, it's not super important, but when the eye closes, then the mesh gets very well distributed, right? So this is a cool thing about this particular stacking of this stuff. The problem is that I don't know a much faster way to fix that except to pick many of them and but I want to solve this today before I complete this. I've done this many times, so I will do this approach, and whichever eyes closing problem for the eyelashes, I'll just solve that in a more rational way. So the idea is simple, right? By having simpler solutions like whatever is, sometimes the best rigging solution is not the one that will, there's no magic stuff. Sometimes you need to embrace usually the simplicity of, okay, this gives a better rest position, positive point. Maybe it gives worse deforms, and then you need an extra technique just to solve a little detail. But yeah, okay, let's use that. It's better than having to solve a rest pose, because that will have to, you'll have to create for just for that tons of stuff and still solve everything else. So you need to make a good calculation of a good assessment, better said, of what should be more advantageous. And sometimes this is very personal, right? But I still believe that I know this because of myself, right? My own experience. Sometimes I just was reluctant to do something that was, let's say, more conventional, or something that maybe someone recommended. Not so that, because I didn't get a lot of recommendations, but conventional is a generic recommendation, right? Automatic recommendation maybe. And so sometimes it's just better to struggle with something that is, well, this is sure to work but it's annoying, right? Then thinking I found a perfect, not a perfect, but maybe something works very well, but it takes a lot to be achieved, right? Very common for deform rigs. Super rigs with 1,000 of helper bones or whatever, I don't know. Or even my own with leverage system for the buttocks, then fan bone, then smoother bone, then I don't know what. So, and still it's very hard to achieve. So must exist better ways around it that I'm just not. So yes, for this case, hence I decided that it was pointless to continue on this on the solution that I had in mind, because I had memory of of the simplicity of, yeah, I like to keep things simple if possible. That's why I use low poly, that's why my renders are stylized, that's why the rigs I try to condense, right, in an epitomized way, right, small way, synthetic way, the solutions, right, whichever can be reduced to, so this doesn't need to be touching there, because the eye will still be able to open more, and this will, maybe there will be some slight interpenetration, but the fact is that it doesn't matter. This will have a good motion inwards, even though we don't care about the eyelash, but this will, maybe this will improve the quality of the, because this gets more regular, right? This gets very regular deforms for the topology, right, the mesh geometry here. And so there's just, yeah, so here there's the last one. So what I was never able to do, right, is to, yeah, I could scale down. It's shift V, no, it just doesn't work. I cannot, even though the cursor is there. Shift V, nothing works when doing this, I think. So I just don't know if this is even possible, a very special case. So yeah, let's just complete that, save. Let's put the music again, soundtrack, and here maybe I can get better. Here maybe I want this. Well, this is the corner, right? So now this is really about the character design, but yeah, it's really I'm looking for the shape of the eye hole here. So it's very straightforward. So in the end, this should be the most, could be the most regular mesh, right? That should be usable here. A more rational way of doing this. I'll have problem with the closed eyelashes, but I'll find a way. Even if I have to use a corrective shape key, which now has got improved features due to Blender 4.1. Yeah, 4.1, that's it. And all these can go like that. Good. So I can still reshape something here, but that'll be minute details in, I guess. Most important thing is that, yeah, I've just changed the rest position for the eyelids, and the eyelashes are invisible, so I'll have to drag them somehow. Yeah, so if we check the eye, oh, I forgot that other mesh got yeah, so this cannot snap. Oh, that helps. Yeah, so here let's just try to get it. I'm not gonna re-extrude this because it could create some complication. I have to see if everything is working, so just reposition should be fine. So we want a small ramp inwards, but that's all. So must check from many angles, and after I can maybe scale down, smooth and scale down, and that should be good enough. Yeah, so far so good. So this is very important findings here in the direction of solving these eye stuff, right? And setting the mood, right? Setting the conditions for, yeah, this looks very good. Maybe this, well, it's shrink wrapping already behind the eye, so that should be safe. So now these eyelashes, time for these eyelashes. So now this will be very characteristic of the character design of let's smooth this out. What about the bones? So you see, that's the simple way, right? Simplest way. Where are the bones? The armature. I need to check the the armature. Okay, it's hidden. Those bones were still not moved, right? So I also want to, yeah, I cannot pose them. Let's go back to, okay, let's reset this. The problem is here, this pose seems a bit exaggerated to me. Right, they don't seem to match the... So maybe I should just turn this off. Yeah, I really don't know where this bone should be. Well, this can be very arbitrary because I'll try to pin them to some very no, this can't be here, I think. Well, I can try, but this still there's a bendy bone here, so maybe this works. So I never had this problem because I wasn't trying to do tweak bones like that, so more problems as I'm overly complicating stuff here. And again, so this will be something to avoid if possible. Alright, so now I know that. Let's save this. I didn't solve the eyelashes, but that's okay. I can still make them. Yeah, this is still left. Yeah, I can still turn that off and just yeah, by being here, let's pick this, and this, and now pose, apply, select a rest pose. Alright, so we reset this, but we need also to actually the bendy bones as well. Okay, this looks fine. Then I can, yeah, before I enable, let's save and let's let's smooth that. Let's make this smaller and this one to grow like here. this side here. This one's too big here. Okay, let's bring it. Okay, so we can try that. That is looking fine. And yeah, here's a bit too blocky, but this is because not even the oh, what's happening here? There's not some shape keys problem? No. So maybe accidentally moved that mesh. So here the subdivision surface modifier. Alright, so good rest pose, good rest position for character design, right? At least the starting condition. And then let's re-enable this. I hope this won't cause any breaking of the. Let's start with that. No, nothing changed, so as expected. Then these ones, this should make some change because I'll have to reassess the, yeah, just not there. Okay, so why? Yeah, I'll just have to remake all their one by one. So that might be complicated. So let's start with. I think I'll return to the original rig thing. Which is okay, so I see there's one disadvantage of these poses here. The disadvantage is that I don't have access. I'll need to use some pose space aligned with up, but that could be complicated because the head can rotate and then that will disrupt the pose space, I guess. So I cannot use local space, those things will grow in diagonal. However, if I align these bones, if I want this shrink wrapping, automatic shrink wrapping feature for these control bones, which is regularly okay, and we can still push that. If I'll have to turn off this. Well, these bones don't need that, so they can use their own orientations. Or I could use additional bones to solve that, but actually no. What I could do here is just orient this like, or I could use a custom space bone. Yes, I could just use a custom space bone to get the Z. So since the eye won't rotate, is the head, I need a custom space bone that is for the eyes rig, so something like, so this is new on these rigs, will be something like mechanism eyes. Then let's get, well, this is symmetric, so let's get something like here and this and this. Shift 2, Shift S, no, Shift A, rotate 90 degrees, Alt Z, rotate 90, rotate on X 90 degree, Alt R, and so that would be the custom bone mechanism eyelids, custom eyelashes, custom space eyelashes. Yeah, that's it. Then color, usually as reference I use that. This will be parented to the head bone as the, I will place it like in front of the eye, I don't know, like that. So maybe doing clearly, showing clearly it's a different type of bone, and then parenting this to the head bone. And yeah, so we're gonna do that in the future. I think there's many things to be symmetrized, right? So let's start. So I'm just doing this just in case. Then the tweak bones. So there's no, this is useless. I'll bring that to the deform then, just to simplify here. Symmetry, no, deform eyes. Fine, and then let's move this to actually I have mechanism eyes somewhere else, but it's for yeah, I have some mechanisms here. This is not a map bone, so actually yeah, no, I leave that. It looks like a map bone. Let's move this to, what is that? Mount position. Okay, no, never mind. So just these ones. Alt M to on edit mode, so to mechanism eyes. Alright, so these are for the UV warp modifier. It's two sets of, one of control bones for each eye, one for the mechanism bones, then the eye controller and generic one, and that's it, folks. So let's check here finally what we've ended up having. Let's also, oh sorry, hello, welcome Chevy 1971 Chevy Camaro. Hey, it's funny to see you in my recommended. Oh, welcome. If that's a compliment. Oh yes, I remember you're from the yes, it's because I've been live streaming like daily. Maybe there's some stuff of rigging that algorithm gets confused. How are you doing? How are the drawings and that 3D project of the 2D project? You were, I remember some time ago. Oh, okay. The train. There's a scene with a train, and there's a girl character that was something like that. Yes. Are you still on that project? Just the sound is a bit loud here, so hold on. Yeah, I'm fine. I haven't worked on that in a bit, been doing other stuff. Yes, I understand. So important project sometimes it's the good timing, right? So I was liking that project, even though I'm not sure what was it all about. Maybe a short feature film, but there was a storyboard and those scenes. So hope you get back to it at some point and show more in the Pxy-VERSE group. So here, as you see, I'm rigging this whole thing, but now for a serious condition, right? So here, make eyelash and okay, this restore eyelash positions. Yes, done all time. So let's get these things. Got rid of 3. So this is all the things that are remaining. Those in reds I'm not sure I'm gonna do for solving that. So basically there's the lighting here, environment lighting. So I need to there would be also some compositing, but it's not very good currently. Where's the body? No, not body. Here. Yeah, okay, so let's see how the so the automation of the eyelashes is the only thing here that is more required for the eyes. And yeah, because it's not moving very well. But at least the rest position is fine. And yeah, this is looking yeah. Let's see how this close. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to see without fixing the automation. And so that will require more calculations, and I don't have the mindset to do this right now. I've been doing this for some time already today, and so what can I do to this? Is there anything that I can take from the list that is easy? No, nothing is easy here. Fixing geometry, mouth, anatomical shape. No, that's too complicated. Face assets. Not yet. Pose, yeah. Face, pose assets. I like we got the list very organized, yes, but at the same time, those things sometimes they mean very little if the artist, right, in me in that case, right, can't get the work done, right. So I've made many of those lists that never got actually solved, right. And this time though I'm going straight. Actually all this project, maybe this can be interesting to share here. My whole goal with this this particular list here is to, or more than the list, sorry, this list is associated with the description of these videos that I'm doing. Like I'm doing live streaming like for a week already. I've started. Every day I try to do at least 15 minutes of this progress here. At least that. So if I can fix this 15 minutes, do something. Of course, usually it goes more than 15 minutes, but sometimes I just need to do 15 minutes per day, and because it's very small amount of work, it's kind of motivating. And more than that, so because that idea of consistency progress on a single project, like 15 minutes per day only, that wasn't being enough for me these times to be, oh, there's some, yeah, that wasn't been sufficient for me to actually get the job done. That took me a long while to figure out why, and then, or a solution to that, a workaround. And then I found out that, okay, if I articulate this whole idea of 15 minutes of project working per day, and I stream that, the streaming, because I do this at home, that would inspire me, motivate me to do this no matter what. So it's like doing the live streaming of this thing is like, for me, if I had to go to a company, right, to do the job there, or go to a classroom. It's like socialization, right? So the artist connects with the people, even if no one comes to the live stream, right? It doesn't matter, because the idea of this live streaming is just to, yeah, the account, exactly that creates for me the illusion that it works doing those things no matter what every day, even though we can. So this doesn't let me get, and also it's a protection against getting addicted to streaming, because it's not like I'm gonna stream randomly like whatever every day. No, it's just 15 minutes per day. If I can do more, so this is the latest discovery. If that works on the long run, as I am assuming it can work, then it will be like 1 year. Over 1 year I'll be doing this stuff, and probably I think I can complete this list in maybe 1 month, maybe it will depend, maybe in a few weeks, 3 weeks maybe. That it's a bit optimistic, but yeah, so that can, it's something, just because I'm being able to work a little every day non-stop with accountability. So it was very hard for me to discover something that would make me, it's not the idea of you have to work every day. No, it's just consistency, right? That thing that you mentioned before. I know another guy who did the same. Oh, interesting. Who do you have the they have the reference? I don't know, maybe it's a YouTuber also, like with live streaming on YouTube, you mean? So here, okay, I spot something wrong on these deforms, but I'm not sure what they were. On the wrist, I think I know. I need to find the bones which are here. It's some messed up bones. So command body, control body. No, not for the hands. Okay, there is this. This will be important. Then the deformed bones. Maybe it's this one. Then maybe there's also the mechanism. Let's see how those bones are. Now they seem to be. That seems to be working fine, so I don't. No, he's since stopped. He did it on Twitch. Interesting. Do you know how it ended up? Do you know? Did he gave some feedback? Not feedback, but some. How do you say? Did he mention something about like how he assessed that his experience by doing this kind of stuff? Yeah, this hand would require to. Let's see if there's any bones that I can. I remember there are some easy things to fix on the list later on regarding to. Okay, just a simple check the FKI key. they seem to be sharing. Here there's some displacement. No, sorry, no, it's fine, no problem. Just a small curiosity. So, it's interesting because, well, everyone has its way of doing the stuff, right? So, some ideas that work for some artists may sometimes work for someone else, so that's the good part of it, right? Is that like everyone is like hermetic to certain processes, right? This also should go there. Oh no, it's already there. This big thing is just the envelope. This is part of rig. Let's test it now, actually. Let's see how it is. Where's the other hand? Yeah, it's there. So the I also should hide the mechanism. Alright, so let's see if that. Okay, so in principle I shouldn't move that. I have already the elbow pole here as normal, but then there is this bone here which can create some special interaction. For elbow pinning, but not from the hand, but from the shoulder. Let's see if I still can have it work here. So if I want to pin it there, I need to enable. What is the greater contest? Oh yes, okay, so this character, her name is Dorothy. It's a gnome alien. It's for a sci-fi, particularly this is for a sci-fi universe. It's maybe I can show some scenery here, if you don't mind. Say yes or no, but because I have to open a different file, and there's some scenery, starship stuff like that, right? Interiors, some interior designs that I was doing that give some idea. Unfortunately, I don't have much drawings because I don't have a scanner. So many of my concepts are on paper, right? Yeah, if you want, I do like stories. Yeah, so okay, so I seldom have been talking about the story out loud, but the story, it's like a bit phenomenological stuff. Like, it's not like some. I don't want to make like a sci-fi thing like Space Marines or Space Marines, alien horror stuff, like the violence, all those stuff. I want to do something more philosophical, and the idea. I'm not a fan of Star Trek, but lots of people compare Star Trek with this old series, right? With the universe of Star Trek with Star Wars, for example. And the idea of the sci-fi universe that I'm doing, it's somewhat inspired in this idea that a sci-fi world in the future, right, universe, doesn't need to be brutal in terms of like a dystopia, like something ugly, like all these aesthetics that we see from Hollywood, and so what I want to do is some sort of cozy world. Like, so Star Trek slightly remembers that in some sense, because It's some sort of this idea that humanity has some alliance, and maybe yeah, those are so basically there's a this character is the main character. She's the yeah, I would have to show the character designs. I don't have them right now. Oh, that's it. I want Cozy World too. So, but it's very hard for me to make those things in 3D, right? So, but I'm still trying to develop. I'll show you some of those things in a moment. Yeah, let's go there. So, and actually, there's some, yeah, the clots here for this character I'm reworking. They are still very bad, but so the idea is that I cannot think immediately of some, but there are many animes from the 90s, the gold age of anime, that maybe probably inspired me slightly to this universe. So she is a race of gnomes, space gnomes, something like that, right? So and I have about 25 characters, right? And so they space travel in some sort of starship for some there are plenty of crazy ideas playing with some crazy science, like micro starships, nano starships, or some multi idea of I don't know, you know, I don't really care with the aspect of the sci-fi ideas, concepts being crazy, like it's like fantasy, right? It's not a so there are many, and there are some crazy ideas there about how the society would be. For example, today I had an idea. I was talking to a religious friend that I've made recently. I'm not religious, but I have some notions of my own idea of spirituality, as everyone has one, right? Even atheists, their spirituality is no spirituality, right? So and I was thinking that, well, in space maybe they got the idea of religion, because religion, what the word means, it's religare in Latin. It means reconnect, connect to, right? So it's essentially connect to the spirit, connect people, right, together. And this is something that is, I'm not going to this direction. This is just one element that I thought, well, maybe I can use it. So that's what my story is. It's not about a storyline that will be I'll make a but I'll tell you about one script that I've made in years ago on an iteration of that universe. So these aliens here, the Pxy-VERSE this was their scientific name, right? So these species, they were on a mission, she included, right, and her fellows, to look for, and they found an artifact that was an ancient spacecraft of a previous species that was thought extinct. Another Pxy-VERSE jar, so another species of that failed, like a civilization that disappeared, vanished. but they found it. They found a spacecraft, and of that old ancient species related, right? They were like their precedent species, right? But they were extinct, much like us in terms of the Homo, for example, Homo erectus, right? So and then they found on that spacecraft, which was sort of I wanted to be sort of a bit dark, but no, there wouldn't be any violence there. But they saw a specimen which was in some sort of hibernation, and that was a girl, because this race is, well, I have actually, that is varied, but they don't have multiple genres. It's one genre. They are all girls, but it's this, I still am considering some change. Hold on, I'm trying to open the scenery here. Scenery there, and star. Yes, this will be a bit of a struggle to find out all the files, but I'll try to do it. So here I have some it's not this scene, sorry. So this is a new building of the, this is very new, so let's find the shuttle. Okay, the shuttle. So this is the biggest scenery that I was working, but I abandoned this one because it didn't satisfy the storytelling. But okay, so that's what I was mentioned about. They found that spacecraft, and they then recovered that specimens that of the supposedly extinct Pxy-VERSE species, and then they went to recover that specimen because they wanted to know what was the reason why that species went extinct. And so that is all the drama. It's all about, all the story revolved, and that girl that was revived, right, started to try to understand what happened, and then she realized, well, as they told her that her world doesn't exist anymore, right? But then they start to show what they are, and there is something about these Pxy genres that those species, they have Pxy powers, some sort of mystic energies, like a field. So it's like the Pxy field, but this is just technicalities. It doesn't matter. What matters is that those ancient Pxyconotakis, they had much more power to control, but apparently they weren't able to control that. So their Pxy fields were really worked like magic. So they didn't require a lot of technology, but at the same time they could make some technology. So they even built spacecraft, but they didn't care too much about. They had too much power to control, and they couldn't. So sort of, perhaps that's why they weren't very, if we can use that word, they weren't very civilized. They were sort of a bit more not very wise, so they went extinct maybe because of that also. And the other race, the the species that survived, right? The entire species that was entirely it was the Psychonotaki Chiplight, where the main characters is from. So the one that went with a party of explorers to recover, right? So so that was the story that I was one of the thing that I sort of scripted out in a very simple way, right? Not a big script, just the synopsis, right? I've got the details of what will happen, and then I didn't finish, but that episode, right? But the idea was that, and then they start to that individual from the extinct, well, actually no more extinct, but how that person will reproduce. So then you can imagine maybe they would start now with some how do you say, like mixing the genes of the ancient and the new, because it might be the only way to get that old species to proliferate. But this is more speculation of mine, because I didn't decide about that. It sounded a bit unnecessary, but that was a story line that I found interesting. So here, let me show you what this is about. So this is a sort of those cozy environments, right? Maybe it's not that cozy, but I think you got the idea. It's very stylized, and this is EV, and so there's the bridge. But this wasn't what I've imagined for the story. This for any story. This I created like just to explore some. In the end, the characters didn't fit very well in this particular space, except maybe a few spaces like this one. Like you see the cozy thing, right? Maybe this gives some idea, right? And then this is sort of a library, right? And then at the top there is a what is it? The planetarium. Unfortunately, I made some change to some glass material, and now it's not showing very well. Let's try to recover that thing. UV. This is material modeling, shading. It was much better with that. Ah, glass, I see. So it's not glass, it's like... No, it is. Ah, maybe it's that thing that I've changed. But now I can't go back to the other layout. Maybe it's... Sorry, this is just less... Alpha blend. Alpha hashed. I think that was the change that I've made. Yeah, so here. So this is some spaces that I want to have spaces like that for the main. There will be many star ships of the new species. Cool premise, thanks. But unfortunately, that maybe I'll recover that synopsis, but I'll have to adapt it anyways, because the main characters changed. You know, though, when artists reuse the same character designs with very small tweaks on them to tell a new story on a new universe, so that is what happens to me, right? Usually I reuse the same characters over and over again, so that's why this same character that I've... Oh, there's no lights here. The lights are very poor anyways, but... And maybe I got to recover them that premise, right? But I'll have to adapt because the main characters are different, and I'm not considering that mission of recovery of that ancient specimen yet. This was many years ago, so the relations, because the reason why that, actually there is a good reason for me to recover that, yes, because that would be an alien individual, right, alien to this world, right, that would not know about it and will have to learn how they function, how they live in society. And that is an interesting thing that I don't really have a way to tell unless I pick different species that don't know, right? And so yeah, so this is one example. Then I have another cozy space there, which is below here. Let's see. Okay, so that was the, now this is another stairways, but then we have the starship old, which okay, this is the last one. The other doesn't matter, this, so it's just, let's find where it is now. They are all stacked together because I had to decide what to use about. Where is it? And I had other premise, so actually the one that the most recent one that I was considering, this is a bit more blurry and I'm still considering how, if I'm gonna stick with that or not. The main character has a sister, and her sister is a designer. It's an she's an artist, but she has some, let's say, some sort of traumas or depression. She has a difficulty in creating the designs. Sometimes she creates the designs for Dorothy, the main character, her sister. So like she has a brush, and she can paint in the space around her, and that creates shapes and technologies and stuff like that, right? So she's like she's some sort of allegory of the Chinese painters, right? That old traditional Chinese painting thing, right? So but she and then I was thinking about that maybe they have a mother, or what would be a mother for this species, that only might have, especially females. There's no differentiation actually in genres, so an idea that like maybe it's not like they are hermaphrodites. This I haven't totally decided yet, but it doesn't really matter because not for me, right? If I have to appear with a character that is like male or something like that, okay, the character appears if needed, right? So it's not, so that's why I don't. I have two proponents of male characters that existed in the other universe, out of the previous iteration that was of that other premise, but for some reason I'm not using them anymore in this new iteration, right? So okay, and that in this current story that I'm of the sisters, right? Then there is something about the disappearance of someone in the lives of the people, of families, or because for this species, what I wanted to tell is that for them it was very hard to conceive someone to disappear, because they were sort of space gnomes, like immortals, right? nearly like gods, right? Maybe something like that. Even though they are not necessarily powerful, they have the Pxy fields, they have advanced society, but that doesn't mean that they have peace in the world. So their missions is not about violence, it's about explorations, about a lot of other stuff, right? And the but in some way their mother vanished, right? And they had to deal with that, and that for her sister, the artist, was the designer, right, the painter, was very traumatic. And Dorothy, the main character, had also was had difficulty to handle that. It's not that their mother died, but it's something more transcendent, like she had to go or she vanished. It's a process that happened to very few of that species, but it happened to them. And then it occurs that Dorothy, she works in a large starship where there is Cora, which is I think it's the captain of the starship of that. It's not a mothership, but it's a very big office starship, and it's something like they are agents of some sort, and they work with other partners. There are other aliens that circulate on that starship. So this is not the cozy small shuttle of the main characters traveling alone. No, that will be a bigger starship that more related to perhaps to this thing. No, not this thing, sorry. This is something new that I've made. It's very sketchy yet. Where is this one? Rooms. Okay, let's find it. Deck. Ah, there we go. So this was the. Is it this? It looks like. Where is the rest? Oh, here. There are. Okay, so this is this part was sort of compromised. I've changed this deck many times, but we can see some things. It's very. I think it's very alien. Some aspects of it. Let's see. Where is it? So this would be like a proponent for. I'm here again. Sorry, I'm lost with the. I'm lost in space, literally. Let's go back here. Okay, so let's go back to the deck. I'm moving too fast with this thing. That would help. So this was a deck that I've started to make over and over again, but it didn't work well at the end. I was inspired here by some museums, some French modern architecture, like. But this is another question. So here, there is there's the problem with the lighting. The sun, it goes crazy. On EV, I think it's. Yeah, I'll have to find the sun. If I don't have. Okay, so this the assets also are not. There are many more assets here. This is very disorganized. It's like. It's because this is all how to say. Legacy. Maybe I'll reuse some assets, but. So I was building this to be like the proponent of a very large starship with offices, with lounge spaces. Yeah, the lighting is crazy, so I cannot use it. But there's still this idea of cozy spaces, right? Or sort of. and then that will be that never got completed because this was going to the infinite. I was building from the interior to the exterior, so I wasn't really caring about the exterior so much. And this but I couldn't find a way to set any script inside here, so it confronted, wow, that's very monumental, are you working on it alone? Yeah, I'm this I've been working on that, but it's not mostly, it's just some basic rooms here with very relatively simple geometry. Of course it takes times, and here I was going not super creative, but I was exploring like randomly the spaces, and there is some reference here that that you may notice. So yeah, so these are some very mosaic references, and then yeah, and there's some passages here that I wanted to create some crazy things, but I ended up not using this because I couldn't find how to connect it, even though it looked well. I just realized, no, that will require a lot of people to fill these places. I don't even have it would be nice if I could have a staff, other arts, but this is, I cannot pay so currently, so I'm not counting on that. I wouldn't like because it's a very personal project, so I'm not confident. I don't want to involve people in that because it's too personal. I think you got the idea. So but maybe in the future, if I get money from those kind of things, then I can perhaps start to try to look for artists to make assets for me, then I would pay them. That would be my strategy, right? I already made participate in volunteer projects, right? And myself, I've started volunteer projects very old time, so I have some experience in collabs, but for this project I think it's not the case of collabs like that because it's too personal, and so this is my maybe I change my mind over time, but in principle I'd like to make this stuff. Yeah, I need to do that alone. This is why the name of this live stream is about mega project, building Arctic ethics. That's why I need to be able to do like all by myself, and I know that if this is a long-term project, right? It's not something supposed to be done by a single person, one man's army, right? So one person's army. So this is supposed to be done by a lot of professionals, artists, right? So, and it's not the case. But I also know from stories, backgrounds of, we know, artists, animators, people that individuals that mostly did big projects on their own over the long run. So I don't care about the long-term thing, right? At this point, but I need the correct approach to that, right? So that is the interesting aspect. But of course there's life problems, so I cannot do only that. I need to do other things, and but at some point I expect some, because this is to be some sort of 3D animation web series. I never done a 3D animation, right? I know animation, right? I know I'm an former 2D animator, but so I know how to animate characters in principle, but 3D animation, it's slow process, but it's funny. It can be funny. So I've started to find that this is funny, and my decision to go from 2D to 3D was because drawing this style on 2D, for me, it's for animation, right? It's not exactly, at least not currently, right? I prefer to draw this for character design, for doodling, but not for animation. It's too difficult. Maybe I don't like 2D animation that much, right? So but 3D animation is an interesting choice, because at this point of technology, yeah, so you've been through all that, maybe in a different way. So currently, I believe from many years from now already, so lots of graphism, 3D graphism started to become very appealing to me, and that pushed me in the direction to go into 3D, into Blender, right? So, but it took me more than 10 years to get from zero to polymodeling. No rigging, no shading, just polymodeling. So for 10 years I was just doing the same thing over and over again. Very uninteresting thing. But on the time that I occasionally had, and I didn't focus, I wasn't very knowledgeable about my own potential with 3D, and at that time I didn't even know anything about rigging. I didn't know that I would actually become a rigger, and that I would like to do rigging or all that stuff. So yeah, that's quite a lot of that. At that time I was doing other stuff, so I couldn't focus too much on art, but at least I had the inspiration to start learning Blender, and eventually I thought, I was already thinking on the long run, and it was at that time that I was inspired to work on the that I had this sci-fi-ish stuff, right? That started the iterations of the sci-fi universe that I'm creating, which is called Neocene V. So that universe might have, maybe I first started creating that universe in 2012. So yeah, that universe, the concept of the universe, the generic concept exists for, yeah, it has more than 10 years, and but it changed a lot, right? So basically my creation method for storage is a bit chaotic. Like I have an idea of a story, like, oh, there is this scene, there's that scene, okay, I have these characters, I have this, things start to connect, and just eventually end up with a story. So it's not I'm not super organized in the way I create. This is why I don't even have a complete script for what could be a pilot episode, something like that. But for the internet, my idea is that it must be done differently. It's like, yeah, sorry, I'm not providing any construction here regarding the model, so I just cannot focus on working on that and speaking this stuff at the same time. But just to conclude, right, that yeah, for the internet I'm planning because I'm just one person, right? The episodes are not exactly episodes in the more conventional sense. I'm looking for them as like snaps of sequences, cinematographic sequences, like could be compared with cinematics, stuff like that, right? So I'm I'm thinking of a different format I'm calling storymatics. That is, it's like games cinematics, but that are to be built in little packages in a more close way, because cinematics, like usually the stories of the cinematics, they are very dispersed, because the person plays, then watches cinematics, plays, watches cinematics, right? I mean those 3D cinematography cinematics, not the ones which are just simplified versions of the game itself. So more elaborated cinematics. So I'm considering same again. You had this idea. So I was talking with a Blender animator in that he has an idea like that of working on micro stories like that for 3D. But differently from me, he was already animating stuff and creating some and I, at this point, I cannot even start animating. I mean, I've practiced, but I cannot even start. I need to solve the pre-production, right? The rigging, the models, the characters, the shadings, the lightings, the everything. So all this is what it's very, very hard to do in 3D. So I'm learning this in the worst way possible. But now I found maybe a way to get this thing done, right? So, right, yeah. And I think this time it will work. So I want the episodes to be snapshots into the life of the characters. I want the episodes. Yes, you're talking about your project, one of your projects, episodes of one of your projects of 3D animation, or 2D 3D animation, I'm not sure. I want the episodes to be snapshots into the lives. Oh, I see. Yeah, exactly. This kind of stuff, yeah. So I'm calling more that this approach the storymatics. So it's like this reducing the episode to sort of a micro pilot to start it, because it must start from somewhere, and then so what I have been attempting to do is create the script, the synopsis for the first pilot, let's say pilot storymatic 3D animation storymatic. Yeah, so that is what I'm trying to, yeah, a mix of 2D and 3D. Yeah, I find very interesting. Grease pencil, right? For the 2D part, maybe. I was trying to learn grease pencil, but it's still, I'm starting to learn. Yeah, I've got some I found a way to, but I'm just sketching with it right now. Let's see. It's where is that? Maybe it's that. No, it's not that. It's some sort of, I know where it is. So grease pencil is very, very interesting. Only now I think I'm capable, because I want to, in parallel, to help me create this whole thing. I think I need to draw something also for a patron that I just created. I need to make some I think I need to make some content there, and that's why I'm focusing on No, not focusing. I'm considering making the now I'm not finding it again. Projects, sorry, no, not that, it's maybe it's here. So yeah, this is a chaos. I need to reorganize this stuff. So lab 3D character. If I can't find this file, well, maybe it's has been open recent. There we go, much easier like that. So so this grease pencil, actually I found some way to, you might know better ideas, but I'm starting to find some good sketching tools for the way I sketch, because this is very complicated, right? So this will be that character Dorothy, right? Yeah, it's very hard to sketch here with that, but let's start. There's some artifacts that I cannot fix here yet. And then I've been considering doing this 2D, 3D, not for animation, but just for webcomics, right? So here, this Dorothy, so I'll make this, I don't remember, I'm not clear how would be her sci-fi-ish uniform, so I'm gonna make more a generic version. And so yeah, there's no space to draw the tall figure, not on my screen, so, and the way I draw, so it's very difficult, but it's plausible. Krita, for now, Krita, I think it's slightly better for me, but it's still hard. I've already done some I already had some experience with webcomics in doing Krita and some time ago, right? But wow, cute, you're pretty good at 2D. Thanks, yeah, but I draw for a very, very long time. Yeah, like more than 20 years. So if I didn't do anything close to interesting, but I have my way of drawing, so I have my bad habits, right? So usually I like poses, right? So that's why if I insert blank, so, but for this character design, if I don't practice, it's very hard to get to draw the way I have drawn, right, with any pose, right? So for example, yeah, this is not a so difficult pose, so it's easier to readily adapt the character design to it. But in principle, I would like to draw directly the thing as much as possible, right? Like animators do, like or some cartoonists, right? They just draw the main lines, the contours, right? So but your drawing is very good also. Maybe I don't know how long do you I think you have very consistent drawing experience, but I haven't seen too much, right, of your artwork. But from what I've seen, it looks like that you have a lot of background also. So here this head is completely tilted in a wrong way. So let's do different this thing. So I just start. Yeah, let's do no, this, and I studied fine art, so there I did sometimes lots of human figure drawing, right? So that helps a lot in getting the, you know, right? You probably have had many experience. My drawings take really long time to make. It doesn't come naturally. I've read over every line. Yes, so yeah, so there are some artists that prefer to work slowly, right? I'm sort of very addicted to draw fast, and it's like what happened to me. But drawing slow has some advantage. This is very bad. My problem is that I don't have patience to draw slow. I don't really understand your patience, right? So if I could have patience to draw slowly, I would probably be able to make much more drawings and good drawings than I usually. So I just usually doodle, and even I have a problem. So with finalizing artwork. So I usually don't do line art. I prefer to, if possible, just to, even at some point when I did some collab in a webcomics, I had a friend that was doing the line art for me. So he was very good because he understand the sketch. He has the, this is very rare. He understand what because probably he could draw very well as well, and he also drew good characters and stuff like that, manga stuff related, and so he has a good idea. And so on that collab he did the fine art, the line art, right? That I, not that I hate to do, but I don't have patience to do. So I focus more on doodling poses, and this pose is, yeah, it's just senseless. It's not very good. It still struggles with the also art block and whatever, but you get the idea. So basically to get gesture drawing, yes, I loved when I've learned this idea of gesture drawing, because you just get to work on the the mass of the character, and so this fits very well my. So maybe for your drawing, right, you might require to find a different way, new way of doing things that actually would potentialize the natural way you draw, right? And sometimes there's another problem. So some techniques that we learn, like even sketching, building, like there's a time that I roughed character like that. So this was terrible for me. Good for learning proportions, right? But very bad for the natural poses, right? Then I started to break this apart, right? This technique, and started to do something more neutral. But this varies from artist to artist, right? So the fact that I have this habit of drawing very fast. Also, I've learned an exercise which was the 30-minute sketch. It's like that. It was for animators. It was from a book. It's animation from script to screen. It's from next animator, Disney animator, Seamus Culhane, I think is like that. And there is he has an exercise that I think he proposed on that book, some sort of advanced special way of doing the 1 minute sketch. So basically the idea, it was an exercise for 2D animation, so traditional animation, so maybe it interests you. That was a game changer for me, and I will explain why. For animation, also for drawing, but at that point when I knew that exercise, I was already I was drawing already for I was already more experienced artist, 2D artist, but of course never sufficient. But so that I didn't knew about that exercise, so I was struggling to learn the professional 2D traditional animation techniques, right? Again, I was blocked by the how do you say, the way of the techniques, you know, in betweening, you know, all those stuff, right? For in betweening pose to pose technique, all those crap. I'm joking, it's very good technique, but it's like it's it can really provoke art block. So because the natural way of drawing is like flip books, like you have them organic stick figures like that, and this is why I started drawing characters this way on flip books. And so that's when I started to learn something more realistic, like manga's genre. Then I struggle a lot to learn something about proportion, human figure, perspective, all those proportions, all those things, and that wasn't enough. Then eventually I had to learn, train, yeah, those human figures. But then much later came the challenge of this 1 minute sketch, which is actually this. It's not this. It's this. I'll show you how that works. Maybe you have done something similar. Maybe it's not so good for you because you have a slow pace drawing style. So many artists I know, they feel very uncomfortable drawing faster. That doesn't necessarily click for them, but maybe it clicks. So for me it clicked, and so the idea is like that. You have a chronometer. It's like every day or regularly, doesn't matter, once a week, twice a week, whatever you can, you get like 30 for 30 minutes, right? You'll be drawing one drawing per minute of a character. So a whole character. So probably a sketch, right? A doodle, but that must show as much as you can of the character. So you need to complete a random pose from memory on 1 minute. 1 minute sketch during 30 minutes. Right? So you need to be doing that was what the exercise was about. And all those exercises are made, you need to pose the character entirely, and when the time ends, it's over. You need to immediately, and that's the interesting point, must immediately stop, get the new page, sheet of paper, and start another character drawing. You pick a character that you know to draw, your main character, for example, that girl, and then you draw another random pose. What first idea that comes to your mind? You can't wait. Oh, I'm gonna draw that. I'm gonna draw this pose. No. You must get the first thing that comes to mind. Oh, this pose. It can be a crazy pose, but it must. So it's so I'm gonna make a test here. So just a small demonstration. 1 minute here, and I've already, yeah, then after you can do a 30 seconds minute sketch, and it's really interesting to practice posing and also character design. And okay, it just broke my art block because you see, so I this is 30 seconds already. And okay, of course, for the kind of character that I need to draw, the face is the most difficult to get right. Actually, it's completely wrong, these shapes here. So but I need to find some way to get it done. So and time is finishing, and okay, I won't be able to finish the clothes, but I should have included them. Okay, so next, and then you do that for about 30 minutes, right? And then you can do anything, right? It's like so that's the exercise of that appears on that book of Seamus Conrad. And for me it was a game changer, because for me I discovered that I thought I drew fast, but actually I didn't draw fast enough. I could draw much faster, and that was much better for expression for me. So that was the impact that thing has, that single exercise. I didn't know. I had to buy the book from Amazon.com. I didn't not even expect it. So you see the whole character here. So 1 minute there. So right. Then you can try 15 seconds sketch. Then you can try. You start to get faster and faster as it pleases, right? Yeah, I agree. That's a good stretch. I do warm ups with the Pxy-VERSE videos. Pxy-VERSE. I think I know what that application is, right? It passes. How fast is that? Like each pose, I assume it gives different poses, right? Time to time, right? Is it like 1 minute pose, 5 minutes? What do you do usually for warm up? Yeah, for warm up, that's very good. So I always forget about this. So that should be the thing that I should be practicing more, right? So revision of that exercise. And it also helped me to learn better how to draw on the on the graphic palette, right? So yeah, so those stylized characters are very hard to get on the disproportionate, even a bit more realistic than time's up. Waste too much time. And it's like, oh, that's a lot. Yeah, so it's that idea, but the difference of the 1 minute sketch of the one difference, right, is that the pose is from memory. The drawing must be made from memory, right? So it's not a given pose, and maybe there is and this is very interesting, because you have to catch a flash, a glimpse. So it becomes, at some point it may become automatic. You don't need to be thinking of the pose. It comes magically, instantaneously. You get a pose, and for animators it might be very good, because you can then, it's like, literally, it's like you have, as soon as you get the image of the pose, the notion, right, that abstraction that is concretized in the mind, you have to, how do you call it, stamp it on paper, right, as rapid as possible. So that's why the doodling, and then that process is like, it trains the mind to get more expressive, do the impossible, right? So it breaks some, because sometimes maybe eventually some very crazy pose occurs, and I have to draw that, but how to draw that? So So it's very interesting, right? So now this character is not the even doesn't have the proportions correct for the the those girl characters that I make. So uh, yeah, so I still struggle, but I need to, if I in my vision, if I train a lot as drawing, right, instead of doing 3D or in parallel of doing 3D, I can probably be able to shape my characters like I shape this in any pose. So that for me is like a fascinating thing besides storytelling, right? But um, yeah. By the way, so let me show you. I have to go soon, but if you want to share some creation you have somewhere, feel free. I don't know, some, maybe you have some portfolio or some maybe web comics somewhere. I don't know. I never seen, but I have here something that, now let me find this. Where is this? Where is the? There's that web comics that I did, that I was talking about here. So it was very rough, but here you go. Yeah. So well, I've posted this in the maybe you know that already. So it's not very good to navigate here, but yeah. So if you, so here is very sketchy stuff. So yeah, here is very bizarre, this site. It's a legacy thing, that because Smack Jeeves site doesn't exist anymore, so this become legacy. So this is the story, and here we got, yeah, you can pass the page like here. I never finished that story, unfortunately, but here we go. You have the, I think I was drawing really well on that, but that was on paper, so it's cheating. Yeah, thanks. I knew you'd like that because I know your style. You can draw very cute characters also. So there are some like and that was done, the way I was doing these webcoms. I want to redo this right now, right? Is thanks. Yeah, so this is a long time. It was very difficult for me to create a style that diverged to something more personal. It took more than 10 years. I was never a very creative designer, right? So here, yeah, well, you can look up for yourself, but let me find something. There are some pages that will go into digital. Yeah, so this I drew on a graphic palette. It was not the same thing, but I think it was on Krita, but I was able to draw relatively well there at that time. Now I just struggle to reach that level, so I was better drawing those characters at that time than now, in some sense. Yeah, this was digital also. That yeah, this was, so I can do, I need to I need to recover some of this, but most are done. Oh, here is the line artwork of that friend of mine that I told you that was able to catch the line art, I'll make a line art that made sense for my own style. For me, it was very surprising because wow, how he understand my crazy doodles. How come? So the colors were someone else. So there were many. Yeah. And so yeah, this is reaching the end. So there's not, unfortunately I never finished that. uh, and now the story, oh yeah, the how that story developed. I was every weekend I was trying to make one page, right? That right, so this vertical webcomics page, right? So I was trying to make one page, and then as the time passed, my mind for the story, I was having ideas for the next page, the next weekend where I would draw it, and but many more ideas kept popping up. And as I didn't do a script, right, for each. I just as I reached the day of drawing, I would draw, and okay, what did I decide for that next page? Okay, that would happen, that would happen. Maybe I would make some change, right? To make change in the real time, right? But I kept thinking. So the storyline that I had, or the scenes that would come, they were very far ahead of. So I was drawing, this rhythm of drawing one page per week was of that size, was just extremely slow to all the story that was building up from that strategy. So this is why I'm not scared of today, right, of not having, at least for webcomics, right, for storymatics, I'm still a bit concerned by the fact that, wait, maybe why I having some storyline art block, right? So this is not good. But then I just remember that yeah, this page was very well drawn. So I think it's just practice, right? With the, and get a good software. So maybe I think I can do something like that in Blender. That would be nice, but it's difficult. And yeah, that's it. So oh, by the way, yeah, those characters designs, that all of them that you see here, they sort of, with small changes, they sort of reappear in the what I'm doing for the Sci-Fi 3D universe. So these characters, they are all iterations, their character designs, right? So except here's a fantasy world, right? But here you don't see Dorothy, but she existed already in that universe. Here she would appear as some sort of minstrel, and but that would be a very intriguing scene, but I wasn't able to draw it. I had other problems. I had to dramatically stop this stuff. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Master Chevy Camaro, I think. Chevy Camaro, maybe. So yeah, if you have something, some site, some, or if you have something to artistic to share, I would like to see more, but it might be interesting. Should be nice. but feel free to share or not. That's okay. So I think I'm reaching the end here, folks. This, well, it's quite late here. Yes, I must go now. Thanks for being around. Kevin, thanks for the chat. All I got is what's on my Debian. Oh yes, can you share your DeviantArt, by the ways? I have an account there. Maybe I can add you. So let's say, yeah, just maybe say your, where's the, here. Okay, good stream. Thanks. So, oh, here. Let me. Thanks for informing me. No, thanks for asking. That's a pleasure. Here, I have in my DeviantArt. I have some characters, not all. That these character iterations that you may recognize from the Sci-Fi. Some of them would be used for the, yes, Dorothy. Yes, always Dorothy is the main, right? So thanks for informing me of that. Yeah, so this is my DeviantArt. You can add me maybe there and I'll add you back. Moonlands. It's an old account. I'm not updating it anymore, but so feel free. But if you can share your, you can PM me on Discord also. That on the group there. That's fine too. Then I look at your DeviantArt. I'll add you and check, understand more of what you create. Maybe there are some updates for the current project you're doing, right? So that's it, folks. Again, thanks for watching. Take care, happy blending, and see ya tomorrow or on same stream, or maybe later on, whatever, no problem. See ya, folks. See ya, Kevin Kamara. It was a pleasure talking to you. Go back working on that project that you're put more time, allocate more time to that project. That should be nice if you can, right? Bye everyone.